to or welcome back to my channel So Little Time, and my name is Karen. In today's video I'm going to be talking to you all about my reveal for the Frugal Frocks 2021 challenge. Now this challenge has actually been taking place since the end of February and today is the official reveal day. It's the 31st of March. So already I have seen quite a lot of Frugal Frocks popping up on my Instagram feed, and it has been absolutely amazing to see what everybody has come up with. There is so many free patterns out there and it's just great to see them being put to use. I have to take my hat off to both Sam from Frugalissima and Ruan from the Yorkshire Sew Girl for setting this challenge up in the first place, and they have done an amazing job with it. They have just put so much time and effort in, and I think it's just come at a really nice time where we're just coming out of lockdown 3 here in the UK. It's brought the whole of the sewing community together. The sun is shining, and yeah, I think it's just put everybody in a really good mood to have this sort of challenge to be part of. I have thoroughly enjoyed being part of it, and it certainly took me out of my comfort zone to find patterns that I wouldn't necessarily have looked at before, and it also got me to do a few techniques that I'd also not tried before, so I will go into more detail in a moment. There are also quite a lot of prizes that have been donated, which has been absolutely amazing. So for everyone who has uploaded a picture onto Instagram, everybody's sort of within the draw for receiving a prize, which is great. So I ended up making 2 dresses, which wasn't the plan, but I'm so happy with how both of my dresses have turned out, and I just, like I say, I'm just over the moon with the whole challenge, to be honest. So first of all then, I shall talk about my Frugal Frock number 1. So it's actually what I'm wearing, and I ended up going with this jungle themed fabric, which was originally from Andrea at Beyond the Pink Door. I had it as part of my Christmas present, so I've had it in my stash for a small while. It's actually a cotton lawn, which I think before in my plans video I did say it was a cotton poplin, but it's not, it's a cotton lawn. So it's been really nice to sew with. So it's very nice and lightweight, so perfect for this mini heat wave that we're having right now in the UK. And I ended up pairing it up with the Welcome to the Jungle shirt dress, which was in the issue 91 of Love Sewing magazine. So I just grabbed the magazine for you now so you can see what it actually looks like. So this is the magazine here, Love Sewing magazine, issue 91. And you can see it's featured on the front just here. And then inside, you have the dress there in full, and then it gives you all the instructions as to how to actually sew up the dress and some photographic images there just to go alongside it. Now this dress pattern has actually been provided by Julia from Bobbins and Buttons, who I actually blog for, so that came in quite handy. When I downloaded the dress pattern from the Love Sewing website, there were the sizes missing off the actual pattern pieces. So I did contact Julia at Bobbins and Buttons and asked her advice as to which size I would fall into. She said that I would probably be the size 10, and she told me which line to follow, but I ended up going down a size and sewing up the size 8. And that is because there is quite a lot of room in this pattern. The only problem I found was with Love Sewing, there wasn't any finished garment measurements or any body measurements for which size you should be making. So I don't know if there was a particular issue with this pattern, because I've not actually sewn up any other garments from the Love Sewing website before, so I'm not really sure. But I just knew that there was a little bit of ease in this. Now, I have made quite a lot of alterations to this dress. So it doesn't actually look like the picture, unfortunately, and the picture really drew me to it because it does look very sort of empire waistline, but it's not at all. Now on the back there is actually quite a big pleat underneath the yoke, and I've actually ended up taking that out completely because I ended up having quite a lot of excess fabric. So it fitted me beautifully across the bust and the shoulders and the back, but then where the yoke was, it just billowed out so much. I had so much excess fabric, and also the dress itself was very long. Now it does actually have a curved hem, and because the dress ended up really long on me, I ended up taking it up quite a lot, so I have actually lost that curve, unfortunately. I did try to sew a hem, but it just was gathering all the fabric and it just wasn't working, so I ended up cutting about 4 inches off, I think, so it was quite a lot. So my experience of using a Love Sewing magazine pattern wasn't the best. It has put me off slightly, so I don't know whether I will do that again. But the actual dress overall, I'm really happy with. And obviously I have modified it to fit my shape and to my preference, which is one thing that you can really do with any pattern, can't you? You can hack it into your own. So, you know, I did send photos over to Julia and explained that I had changed it significantly. And, you know, she said, well, that's the great thing, isn't it, about sewing? You can make it your own. So I'm really pleased that she wasn't sort of offended. So I'll talk to you in more detail about the dress itself then. So it does have a nice collar and collar stand. I have interfaced those pieces, but it still has given quite a floppy sort of collar, which I really don't mind. Now the dress is supposed to be with sleeves, and I did cut the sleeves out, but then in the end I decided to go with sleeveless, just because I thought it would be a lot more versatile for me in the summer to wear it with a cardigan if necessary, or with a denim jacket, and I really do like it paired with my denim jacket. Now it doesn't actually have a button placket, so I'll just pan you down slightly so you can see. It actually is folded over onto the other side, so if I just show you there, you will see that I've got my overlocking stitches there, and then you fold that in, which then creates the button placket. And you will see that I have actually added some snaps rather than buttons and buttonholes, just because that's my preference. It does come with a waist tie, which I have added on, but it's not actually put into any belt loops. So when I take it off, it is free, unfortunately. And I made the tie really long, so I've actually doubled it round. So I put it on that way and then sort of overlap it at the back and bring it round to the front and tie it in this nice bow. It does have pockets, and the pocket pieces were on the pattern pieces, but they are not included in the instructions in the magazine. So I'll pan you down a little bit more and move back so you can see the length. So I have actually made it knee length, and I have added quite a deep hem. Don't know if you'll be able to see that, but that's the hem there. So there is a good 2 inches, I'd say, of hem there. I don't know if you're going to be able to see this because it is such a busy print, but I've actually top stitched down here the button plackets basically, just to stop them from creeping out. And I used a lovely green thread just to sort of contrast with the green in the fabric. It does have bust darts just here, and then I have used some bias binding on the inside, just some gold bias binding that I already had, which obviously complements the gold flowers. What I didn't do, which I think I probably should have done with making this sleeveless, is to have actually taken a little bit off the arms here, just so they're slightly narrower, because I do find that they are quite wide. Yeah, I just think it would have looked better if I'd have brought those in slightly, but you know, no big deal. I'll wear it as is. Now there is a yoke on the back, which I will try and show you. I don't know if you'll be able to see because it is so busy. So the yoke finishes here, and this is obviously where the pleat would have been. So I did end up taking that pleat out because of all the excess fabric that I had. So what I'm going to do is actually show you the pattern piece so you can see how I made the modification. I came across a tutorial online. It wasn't a video, it was just a step-by-step tutorial on somebody's website, and it actually told me how to take the pleat out, because initially I thought I was going to have to cut the back of the dress in half and then take it in with a seam. But luckily I didn't have to do that. So I will just get the pattern piece now so I can show you. So this is the back pattern piece. As you can see, this is the arm section here, and then the pleats were across here. So this is on the fold, obviously, to your fabric. So you can see that I ended up measuring how deep the pleats were, and then I calculated that and then took that amount off the side of the dress. So instead of obviously having to put a seam line down the middle of the back, I just took the amount off of the side and just redrafted the sleeve section here, or the arm section here. So I ended up taking 2.5 inches off in total. So obviously that was 2.5 inches then off each side seam. So you can see how much excess fabric I did actually end up having. Now I should have took a photo so you could see the difference, because there was just volumes of fabric. And I think for this style of dress, it does work, but you need to have a specific body type for it to work on you. Because I'm a pear shape where I am wider at the bottom, it just didn't sit right on me. So this is why I ended up taking quite a lot off the pattern piece itself. And if I just come back, you can see that it is quite long. That's the curved hem, and there is a shirt option as well. But yes, I ended up taking quite a lot off. So taking that amount off, it did bring the dressing significantly for me. So even down sort of over my hips. So it is very much a more sort of fitted shirt dress than the one that you see in the picture. Yeah, which is a little bit of a shame because I did like that free sort of flowing style, but it just wasn't right for my body type, unfortunately. So I'll just pan you down now, stand back again. So you can actually see, yeah, it's got pockets, and I would like those slightly deeper. They are quite shallow. So if I ever do end up making this dress again, I will change the pocket piece to be a bit deeper. I really do like where the hem is sitting on me. And then if I turn around to the back, you will see that I do still have, you know, excess fabric down at the base of my back here, but I don't think it's that noticeable now that I've got the belt on. And I think if I wanted to make a change to that in the future, the best thing for me to do is actually to put some fisheye darts down the back, so it brings it in and shapes into my back a lot more. I think that's the way around it. Now, I did find a tutorial online from Karina from Lifting Pins and Needles, and I'll link that down below just in case you're ever interested in doing that on any garments that you ever make. I just find that would really cinch you in at the back. I think the problem is because I do actually have a sway back, I also probably would need to make a sway back adjustment. So either the sway back adjustment would work or the fisheye darts, but I ended up just leaving as is because I will be wearing this dress with the belt. So overall, I'm really, really happy with this dress. When I was first making it up, I was a little bit concerned that it was going to look a little bit sort of jungle shirt style, you know, the sort of thing that your dad might wear to embarrass you on holiday. But no, I'm really, really happy with it, and I just feel a little bit Club Tropicana in it, and I should have a cocktail or something, and I just think it's going to be great for wearing in the summer, so I'm super pleased with it, and I just think it's very flattering sort of shape on me now that I've made those adjustments. So that's my Frugal Frock number 1. I hope you really do like it, and like I say, this fabric was just so lovely to work with. So now I'll just go and get changed into my Frugal Frock number 2. Okay, so here is my Frugal Frock number 2, and I have to say I think this is probably my favourite out of the 2 dresses, purely because I love this style of dress, and also I love the fabric that I've paired with it. I just think it's made a really good pairing. So the pattern that I went with is the fabricsstore.com Noor dress, and you will have seen this in my plans video. It's actually designed to be made with linen fabric, but I didn't have any linen fabric in my stash, so I went with this beautiful cotton poplin fabric, which is a cerise pink with white polka dots all over it, and I bought this from Felicity Fabrics earlier this year. It is still on their website, but it's out of stock at the moment, so I don't know if they're going to be getting any more in. But yes, it was absolutely a dream to sew with, wash with, and also iron. And I have to say that I do believe this pattern would be beginner friendly. There are a couple of techniques in there which are a little bit more advanced, for example gathering and applying bias binding, but I do think it's something that a beginner could tackle quite easily. The pattern actually comes with the body measurements and the finished garment measurements in 2 tables, so I found that really handy, and that enabled me to choose my size quite easily. So I ended up making a size small, which actually fits my bust absolutely perfectly. It was slightly smaller than my waist and hips, but because it's a wrap style dress and it's got quite a full skirt, I just thought that I would be fine with that. But when I did cut out the wrap bodice section, it did look quite small, so I was a little bit concerned that it was going to work out too small for me. But I went ahead and sewed it up anyway. Now I did actually have to fold the fabric in the opposite direction to what you usually would to enable me to fit the skirt pieces on, because they are really wide. And this dress is a proper wrap dress, so it wraps around your bodice and then you tie it at the side, and then you wrap the other bit over the top and then tie that at the side. But it is really a nice style because you can take it on and off really easily. There's no putting it on over your head or anything like that, or stepping into it. You just literally take it off like a coat. When I made this dress up, I have to say it did remind me of my lovely friend Rosie from Rosie Sews Modern Vintage, as it is very 50s style in this fabric, because the crispness of the cotton really makes the skirt stand out, and also the gathers as well, because the gathers go all the way around the waist. It does make the dress sort of poof out around your waist area. The pattern actually comes with some lovely instructions and some big photographic images, so again that was really nice as well. I did actually take the instructions off their website. It wasn't actually attached to the pattern. It wasn't as like a booklet that you usually receive. So I did have to sort of copy and paste that off their website into Microsoft Word and then print it off on my printer. But it is a sort of step-by-step tutorial on how to make the dress on their website, which was really good. Now, the only detail that I found a bit strange with this was the way they attached the ties. So I didn't really follow that instruction in the end. I just went my own way about it, which I will show you. So I will show you the dress in more detail. So it's got this lovely wrap bodice. Now I will say that I have actually put a little pin in here for now because it does show off a little bit more cleavage than I actually like. And I have made the dress sleeveless, like I say, so I have added some spotty bias binding on there, and that was actually sent to me by my lovely friend Rosie from Rosie Sews Modern Vintage, and I've used it for my tie at the side as well, and she sent me that as part of our secret spring swap that we did, so that was really nice to add that. You make your own bias binding to attach around the bodice neckline, and they give you the pattern piece for that, and you just sort of attach two pieces together and join it at the back, so you can see that that is just really nice on the inside there. It's really quite neat. So the bodice, it does fit perfectly, but it just, when I move around, it just shows a little bit more cleavage than I like. So I've just put that pin in there for now. So I'm not sure what I'm going to do. I might add a little popper. I can't really add a stitch in there, unfortunately, because of the way you take the dress off. So I'll just pan you down a bit more. So you can see that there are lots of gathers. The skirts pieces, there are 3 skirt pieces and they are really wide, so there was a lot of gathering, and then you tie it at the side here, and I've just folded over that bias binding and stitched it to make lovely ties, and I really like that contrast with the small spots against the big spots. Here you can see the wrap, so it is white on the other side, but that doesn't show through on this fabric at all, and you just do a double fold on there, and I've done quite a deep hem on this as well. It actually comes down all the way just sort of below my knees, but I really do like that, and as you can see it is quite a full dress, so there is you know, a lot of twirling to be done in this style of dress, and the gathers are all the way around the skirt panels, so when I lift this section here, the gathers are here as well, which does give that volume of fullness there. Now, if you didn't like that volume, you could 100% easily make this skirt section here the same width as the bottom of this bodice, this side of the bodice, and have it so it was just flat. You don't have to have all that gathering there, but I do quite like the volume that it actually gives this dress, so I really am really pleased with it. Yeah, I have been enjoying twirling in it, and I felt very girly in it yesterday. I did wear it for the day yesterday. Again, because I made it sleeveless, I think I should have took some off the arm here just to bring it in slightly, but it doesn't bother me. I quite like how it looks. Yeah, and I'm just really, really pleased with this dress. Now, the way they've added the ties in the instructions is that you actually attach them after the whole dress has been finished. So you would see your stitching. So what I actually did was to do it within sort of some of the seam allowance that you've got here, and attached it that way. It's very hard to show you without, I mean, it's not the tidiest, but I kind of zigzagged it within that seam allowance section there, so it doesn't show on the outside of the dress whatsoever, and it does that really well. And then on the inside, I have actually used just some ribbon rather than using that bias binding on the inside, so it wouldn't bulk out, and it's just a very fine ribbon that I've used on the inside. So yeah, you just wrap that over, tie it up, wrap the other one over and tie it up, and you know, pull them as tight as you like to cinch it in. And I think the fit is just perfect on me, so I'm really pleased that I did go with this size. So I'll show you the back as well. It just fits really nicely. It's not too tight, not too loose. I really, really am just over the moon with this dress, really. Yeah, I'm just so happy with it and how both of my dresses turned out. Okay, so I think that's everything that I've got to say about my 2 dresses there, and I hope you like them. I'm so pleased with them, and I've really enjoyed, like I say, taking part in this challenge. So again, thank you to Sam and Ruan, you know, just such a brilliant challenge to be part of, and I hope you run it again next year. So thank you very much for watching. Please do give me a like, that would be great. And if you haven't already done so, please do subscribe to my channel. Thank you ever so much, and I shall see you again soon. Bye!